Hey everyone, welcome to Buzzing About Romance, a quick shot of romance. I am Becky, and joining me for this episode is Heather. Hi, Heather.
Hey, Becky.
Super excited to talk about this with you.
Yes.
So on this episode of A Quick Shot of Romance, we are reviewing 1001 Dark Nights Presents Where It Begins by Helena Hunting. This is a novella
Yeah.
that is a prequel to all of the Pucked and the All In and the Truth, Love, Lies series
Yeah,
that she's done.
for sure.
This is the absolute beginning.
Yes. I feel like this is the book that I have been waiting for since reading Pucked.
Yeah. So we'll link the synopsis of this book on our On the Shelf show notes at buzzingaboutromance.com. I don't know why I didn't fill this in. The release date was December 10th-ish, I think. Tropes were instant connection, second chance at love, single parents, after sports, and there is quite a meet cute, which Helena Hunting likes a meet cute.
She really does. She really does. And she loves quirky, I guess you could say quirky heroines, because Sky is definitely Violet's mother.
Absolutely. This is a novella. It is published in the 1001 Dark Nights series, but it does take place within the Pucked universe. It is a standalone. It's dual first person. Put out percentage was 43%. There is no third act breakup.
Yes.
Audiobooks were performed. This was performed by Joe Arden and Aaron Mallon, and it was fan-freaking-tastic.
Oh my gosh. So first of all, I think the two of them together just do such a great job.
Agreed.
And Aaron Mallon really does a phenomenal job of like the expression of Sky and then Violet in turn, because they're very like they're two people that they're like me. They talk with their hands. And so for an audiobook narrator, you need to be able to somehow express that. And you can tell that they're so exuberant.
Yeah, her vocal expressions hit to the personalities and to the characters that Helena writes. So
For sure.
Erin Mallon, and she's very open about it. She also narrates under the name Muffy Newton, which was some of her more racier erotic titles. And so Erin actually does do the first book in, she does Pucked.
Yes,
she does Violet. I can't remember if Joe did Alex and Pucked. I don't think so, because he's
secret. I finished this and immediately went and reread Pucked and listened to Pucked. So, because I had to.
Because you had to. You had to. So the setup is Sky is a young professional woman, an accountant working in downtown Chicago. Divorced, or never married. Never married. She has a teenage daughter. I think at this point Violet is 13, 14.
Yep.
Freshman high school, incredibly intelligent. It's just the two of them. Just the two of them. Mother and daughter getting along. And then we have Sydney, who is, and I should also mention, Sky hates hockey players.
For a very good reason.
Violet's dad was a hockey player she had a one-night stand with, who then proceeded to ghost her.
Correct.
Sydney, while he is not currently a hockey player, he was, and he now works as a scout for, I don't know if it's for a sports agency or if it's for a team.
I got the vibes that he was probably a scout for maybe a team, because he knew. That's kind of the vibe I got. Usually that's what they have.
So I'm not 100% sure if he works for the Chicago team or if he's for the colleges. Like, it's not super clear, but he's a talent scout. Like, he's out there evaluating hockey players. He is single dad to Miller, whose book
Mm.
is book 2 in the Pucked series. Um, and Sydney is a widow.
Yep.
His wife passed when Miller was a young child.
Hmm.
And these two happen to have a meet cute in a coffee shop.
And so it's so great. I have been to Chicago several times, so I envision the scene in downtown Chicago. She blusters in. Again, like I said, she's Violet's mom. It comes from somewhere. She's not quite as scatterbrained as Violet, but close.
Pretty close.
And they share, shall we say, stomach issues.
Yes, because she accidentally picks up his latte and he picks up hers. And he's like, hey, I think I have yours. And she very specifically has gone non dairy in her description because she's lactose intolerant and
And
doesn't want to have the moops.
proceeds to like tell him that on the streets of Chicago
Like,
the first time she meets him.
word vomits at him about her lactose intolerance and the moops. Um, it was, and
And he
Sydney's,
still wants to date her.
he, so it was really cute the way they do it because what he says is, how about you come back and be here tomorrow, same time,
Mhm.
and I'll buy you a cup of non-dairy coffee.
Yeah.
And so she kind of has to war with it a little bit. And Helena does a great job of, in that first opening act, showing us also what it's like to be Violet's mother. To be a single mom of an incredibly
Yeah.
intelligent teenage girl. They have a really, and if you've read the later books, then you'll know what we're talking about. Sky and Violet have a very open relationship. Sky likes to gift everybody dildos and talk about orgasms and is very sex positive. Um, but she's even like that now, like with her daughter. Like she talks
Yeah.
about it. Um, and I really did like those little glimpses there in the beginning where Violet also like the word vomit.
Yeah. She, yeah, even as a teenager, it was like girl has no filter. But Sydney is like you need when you have someone who has the energy level and the word vomit and the how they sort of I picture Sky and Violet moving through the world a little bit like a tornado, a little, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
You sort of need that calming presence to like just ground them a little. And Sydney is very grounding.
So
She's
is
very
Miller.
stable.
So is
Mhm.
Miller in this book. And to be honest, if you had asked me previous to reading this book, like who's your least, like I love all the men of the Pucked series, but Miller's not one of my favorites.
Yeah, I didn't love him until this.
No, but I loved him in this.
Yeah.
Um, it was really interesting. One of the things that Helena does in this book is she does give us a couple chapters that are POVs of Violet's and Miller's. I didn't love it.
And I liked it. It didn't, I think it's because we know them.
I
That's
get
why
that
we
we
got
know them, but so here's my deal. We had a very short amount of pages for this book, right?
it.
It's short. Um,
It is.
and every time we went over to Miller or Violet, we got taken out of the story that was Sydney and Sky's, and it lost some of the chemistry. I just wanted more page. Like I would have been fine if this was a 300-page book of Sky and Sydney.
Yeah.
Um, I just really liked these characters. I like how Helena writes. And that's one of the things that we've talked about is when Helena can write the way Helena wants to write,
Mhm.
she has a really great voice. And in her indie stuff, she's not as muted as she is in her trad pub stuff. And these books shine.
Yeah. These characters are people you want to go on vacation with. They're people you want to have game night with. You're the people that you want to invite over to your house for barbecues. You want to hang out with these people because they are awesome. They're funny, they're real, I mean, as much as they have all this money, like they're down to earth. Um, I love these characters.
So I don't want to give too much away because it's not a very long
Mm-mm.
book. Did you have a favorite scene?
Yeah.
What was your
Yeah.
favorite scene?
They were on vacation and they were under the deck. And
Okay.
the reason is because that would so happen to me.
Yes.
Like literally, I
My
was
favorite
reading it out loud.
my favorite scene is early in the book. When they come home from their very first date, and Miller and his friends are supposed to be at a friend's house studying, and Miller's upstairs shagging a girl, and
Oh, I love Randy Balls.
Randy
Yeah,
Ballistic is
I
like
too.
got a girl bent over the couch having sex in the living room. And then
Yeah.
Sky takes the girls home, but before she takes them home, she takes them for coffee and has a sex talk with them. Like, make sure you
Yeah,
get
that is
yours. And I'm just like, damn, that was great. I loved
that
that.
was freaking I do love that too. Like I love that because yes, because their parenting showed like that was when you really realized they're compatible. Like both of their reactions to the situation were so similar.
Well, and Sydney to Randy, we do not have sex on other people's couches. Like why is that why does that have to be a rule? Like we should not be breaking these are just understood rules.
Well, and how I think he even makes the comment of like, that's your date or whatever. And he's like, Randy.
Right? It was
Oh my
so
gosh.
great. It was so great. And it was great to have those little glimpses.
Yes.
I didn't need the other points of view.
I get it. I loved this book
Yeah.
so much. I agree. I would have had a 400 page book of these two.
It was nice to see single parents with teenager, almost adult children too. That's not something we often get in romances. Usually it's littler kids.
Mm-hmm.
And there are plenty of people looking for romance that are dating that have teenagers. I mean, not us, but
Not us.
other
But
people.
I also like that they're older. They were established in their careers and they
Well, the playing field
so
was equal too. She didn't need
yeah.
his money. He didn't need her connections.
Right. He didn't need her to take care of him and his
Yeah.
child. He was a successful single dad doing it on his own. Honestly, if anything, Sky needed Sydney to like cook for her because she can't cook. Like they balanced each other out so well, and they're older. And they, like I said, they didn't have to have one of each other, but they became partners.
Yeah.
Like
And I'm not going to give it away, but there's a really great scene on a date that involves lactose pills.
mhm.
It's so great. Anyway, this book is hilarious. You make sure you check it out. Where It Begins. It's part of the 1001 Dark Nights novellas. And the audiobook, phenomenal.
Just do it.
Heather, thanks so much for hanging out with me and chatting about Where It Begins.
Anytime. I'm always happy to chat.
Until next time, everyone, happy reading.
Find us on Instagram at Buzzing About Romance or on Twitter at Buzzing Romance. If you like the podcast, please leave a review. If you'd like to support us directly, join the Bookcase and Coffee Patreon and receive exclusive content only available to Patreon members. Check out bookcaseandcoffee.com for our on-the-shelf show notes.